If you remember in The Color Purple, there was a scene where Sophia, Oprah Winfrey's character, went to Celia and she said, "You told Harper to beat me." And then she goes with her little monologue, and this is something I hold on to. She says, "All my life I had to fight. I had to fight my daddy. I had to fight my uncles. I had to fight my brothers. A girl child ain't safe in a family of men. But I ain't never thought I'd have to fight in my own house." The reason why this quote sticks out to me is because that I felt really connected to that verse. I mean, to that message, to that script, to that line. And the reason for that, I grew up in New York during the 90s, and being Haitian in the 90s was tough. I think it was all over the country, all over the world. Being a Haitian, it's still hard being a Haitian person because we were the butt of everybody's jokes. They used to call us Haitian booty scratcher, Haitian body odor. It was just tough. But not only was it tough being Haitian on the outside, but it was hard being Haitian home because we didn't know. The community, the family was not stable. I grew up in a dysfunctional family, was not safe in any sense of the word. It was not a safe space. As I got older, things got better, but it was never a safe space for me. It was very toxic. And so I grew up with this personality of I got to be strong for myself. I got to speak up. I got to be tough. I can't let people bully me. I can't let somebody pick on me. But it made me very defensive. So I took any perceived threat as a threat. I would fight. I'm like, I'm not going to let you bully me because that's what I got used to. When somebody is used to being beat on, being abused, you become very strong-willed. Either you're going to be like, I'm not taking this no more, or you become an abuser. I became the person, I'm not taking this anymore. So I learned to fight battles that really wasn't meant to be fought because I didn't know how to perceive what is a threat and what is not a threat. And because of that personality, it made me very strong-willed, very defiant, very tough. But it didn't help me because I didn't know when to release that stress, that anxiety of perceived threat. It creates pain in your body, really. And it makes you anxious and it creates unnecessary problems for you. So as I became a believer, I started to learn that, Barbara, it's okay to stand up for yourself, but understand that God will fight for you. There is a battle that you must say, hey, I'm not putting up with this. But you must understand that God will fight for you. If you remember in the book of Exodus, the Israelites were just released from Pharaoh. And they're about to cross the Red Sea, but they're trapped because the Egyptians are coming. So in the book of Exodus chapter 14, it says, the Egyptians were about to die in the wilderness. They were so afraid. And he says, and Moses said to the people, fear not, stand firm and see the salvation of the Lord, which he will work for you today. For Egyptians whom you see today, you shall never see again. The Lord will fight for you. You only have to be still. So I had to learn how to be still. I had to learn to stop fighting every battle. I had to learn that, Barbara, God is already there. God already handled this. Why are you still fussing over this? I had to learn how to be still. And when you learn how to be still, you start to see God orchestrate situations for you. But you have to do your part because if you're the aggressive, you're antagonizing the situation, you're not helping. So learning to be still, learning to surrender, not to the people, but surrendering to God. It's like, Lord, I trust you enough to handle this situation on my behalf. I'm not going to say anything to her. I'm not going to say anything to him because I know you already handled this. So I had to learn to surrender and let God lead because if I go into battle by myself, I will lose. But if God goes into battle, he's going to get somebody who's in a better position, somebody who's stronger and with someone who's more powerful. He may even send a Jonathan. If you remember in the book of Samuel, David was friends with Jonathan. Who was Jonathan? Jonathan was Saul's son. So Saul had a son named Jonathan who was helping David flee his father. So God will use somebody to help you get out of this situation, but you need to learn how to be still. I was watching a testimony. There was a man who was talking about, President Trump was talking about how he couldn't testify. And the reason why he couldn't testify is because he said that if I testify, then they're going to use that they're going to use that against me. So when you are testifying, whatever you say can and will be used against you. So you got to be very specific. He said, I couldn't speak. I couldn't speak. I had to be still. And that's the message that I want to tell you. Whatever battle you are facing, you have to learn to be still. Because if you speak, if you say the wrong thing, it could be used against you. Trust God to handle this. Be still. Thanks for watching. Bye.